just take you through that I had to present. It is what you're seeing on your screen, working with multiple AI projects in one workspace. Yes.
Is it? We can't hear you.
Let me first switch. Now you can hear me. See that we're going to be looking at okay. Can you hear me now? I mentioned that we're going to be working with projects in one workspace. So I'll just go to the next slide. So I just started with a definition of what is a multiple root workspace. So VX Code lets you open multiple projects folders in one window called multi-root workspace. So the AL language extension supports this feature. This means you can work with several AL extensions or projects at the same time. This is a feature that I had also not used, but I'll just show you how it works. I want to just give you some of the reasons why you have to use, okay, why would you use it? So one of the advantages is managing multiple AL projects together, easy to switch between related extensions, share one workspace with your team, keeping all settings in one place. In a workspace, you can define settings for a specific, okay, you can define settings for a specific workspace rather than affecting your whole, maybe, let me say you're using like VS Code and you want only to have specific settings for a specific workspace, you can do that. So how to set it up? So you can open your VS Code, go to File, add folder to Workspace, and then add all your projects basing on which folder you want, and then you can save it. And when you save it, it will be having a .code-workspace. I don't know whether I can just show you that shortly how it works. Okay. So let me first open my VS Code. So let me just open an extension here, like UDB APIs. So if you want to use that functionality of a workspace, you can go to File, and then you go to File, and then you add folder to Workspace. So when you go to add folder to Workspace, I can now open another extension. So I can open like budget monitoring, and then they add. So what will happen is that I will be having it will open, and then I'll be having my UDB APIs here, and then also budget monitoring here. So this is a functionality you can use without you having multiple VS codes open, like different projects open in different files, in different VS Code like instances where you open UDB APIs alone, budget monitoring alone. So you can always do something like this. So even can show you up here, and also it can also take note of the repository you're in, the branch, sorry, of those two extensions. So if you see here, it shows this workspace here. So I haven't yet saved it. So you can save this workspace. You can use file, and then you can come and save. You can save workspace as. So I can just save workspace as, let me just put it here. I can just say UDB APIs, or let me just call it UDB workspace. So it comes with this code hyphen workspace. So in case you would want to use this workspace again, you can always just come to this workspace and double click it. It will always open. It will always open that workspace you created. So I can have saved it, and then you see that I have UDB. So let me try something. I also want to try maybe adding another one, and I see how it will behave. So I can add like a procure to pay APIs, and so you can always like have them here within this workspace. So if I go to my folder, I can now like close this, and then I show you what I was meaning, whereby you can, once you're done saving your workspace, you can always come in and then open that workspace, and then it will give you all those folders. So I can close this, and then let me go to folders here. Go to develop. So so I created a workspace called UDB code, UDB hyphen code workspace. That's the file extension. So when I double click it, it will be able to open those, the workspace I set up, the UDB APIs, budget monitoring, and then procure to pay APIs. So if you have like settings, you can make some settings for this workspace, and they'll be only for this workspace. So they won't be able to affect any other project of yours, or even any other project of yours. You may want that maybe when you're working with UDB, you have a certain setting for it. You can always do that. So that is the section of uh, working with multiple AL extensions in one workspace. Okay. So we have looked at the setup. So I've also talked about this, the settings, whereby you can have settings for a specific workspace. Yes. Then here I just put like a key takeaway. Multiple root workspace lets you develop and manage multiple L extensions in one VS Code window, making teamwork and large business central projects much easier to manage. Now I'll go to the next. So another section is segmenting AL code and avoiding conflicts, which this is a module of namespaces. This is something that I've seen when you create like your first AL project, when you use AL Go, and then when it comes up, the first file, that customer page extension, it always comes with 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 namespaces. So here the documentation talks about the namespace, but most, even when I was making the research, I found out that most people don't use them. So, but for Microsoft, they use them in their code. If you go look into like the code units, you find out that they're using those namespaces. So what is a namespace? Namespace is a way to organize your AL code into logical groups. So avoiding name conflicts between objects, keeping large projects clean and structured, allowing use of object names in different areas. Think of a namespace like a folder for your code objects. So you can have uh, namespaces, and go to next slide for more explanation why the namespaces matter. So without namespaces, two extensions can have objects within the same name. So two extensions can have objects with the same name. So this will cause a conflict. So, but when you're using the namespace, each object becomes unique. Code is easier to read, projects are easier to maintain, and teams can safely combine libraries. So I was trying to look into the Microsoft code to find how they have been using the namespaces. But I didn't get much understanding on how, okay, the the purpose of using them in some cases, because I found out that right now a lot of code in using them, because you have to use the use keyword, and then you're saying you're using this namespace. You're trying to extend it in different areas, but it's something that you can try out. The documentation talks about it. So how namespaces work in AL? You can declare a namespace at the top of the AL file. All objects in the file belong to that namespace. So if you maybe put a namespace of maybe HRP dot maybe budget monitoring dot maybe customers. So in that namespace, in that AL file, you can only have one object. Maybe it's a page or table. So that's what it means. All objects in the file belong to that namespace. One object can belong to only one namespace. So the same namespace can be used across many AL files. So for example, so how you declare it, you write namespace, then the name of that namespace. Okay. So after this, all tables and pages and code units in that file belong to that namespace. Uh, so I just put some of the examples that they put in the documentations. So the namespace best practices, like the naming, you can present your namespace like this. So the namespace, the namespace naming rules must be global and unique, starting with the company or author, then the product name, then the feature. Uh, Let me first try to maybe get an example for you to see this. Let me stop sharing my screen. Then I just get an example. Hmm? Just a minute. I'm failing to get one, but I just wanted to go to, I don't know who, okay, anyone who has opened up their VS Code and they can access uh, the AL object design, and then you look at maybe the code units, the standard code units that Microsoft has, you find out that they're having a lot of examples. They have a lot of the use of the namespaces. Yes, okay, let me just it's going to take long for me to show you that, but uh, I'll just share a link of the documentation, and then you have to look through and then you see. So that was the last section in my presentation for configuring namespaces. Back to you, Mark. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Joseph. And good morning, everyone. Let's observe the two things. One is the way we prepare. I think, Joseph, for this particular one, I can say that we are not really fully prepared. And I want to highlight the importance why we schedule these meetings. The reason why we schedule these meetings is mainly to help each other. So each time you're presenting and you are referring to the team to go back and make further research, then it beats the purpose of the meeting. So to all the presenters who are yet to present, I gave you these topics earlier on. The expectation is that you make thorough research and the team should benefit from your research. If you teach us something to do with namespaces, I shouldn't go again and search about namespaces. You should be thorough in the presentation. Let's prevent, the slides are good, but we need to back it up with some practical work. Because if you just prepare a slide and you take us through the slide, then it is better off than also us going to the documentation and reading through that documentation. So for those who are yet to present, let's make these presentations very, very meaningful. Do thorough research, back it up with examples. This is a developer exam that we are going to sit, open VS Code, show us how these concepts are applied in AL practically. Yeah, so with that, we shall be in position to get the objective of the meetings. Then 2, time management. We all agreed that we have to start at 7:30. As I talk now, I have a meeting that is starting in the next 3 minutes. So if we don't utilize the time well, then we are going to lag behind. If you look at the schedule, what we are covering was supposed to be covered on 30th of January, and today is 17th of February. So you can see that we are really behind schedule. So let's ensure that we keep time. If we keep time, then it means these of you would have presented within 1 day, not 2 days. But if we fail keeping time, it means that each day we're just presenting for 15 minutes. Then you find one presenter taking a full week. So Kim, I know you are the next presenter. 7:30. Me, I will always ensure that I start the meeting at 7:30. So long as you see me already there, let's start the meeting. I'll record the meeting for other people who might fail to make it at that time. But 7:30 sharp, we must start. So colleagues, let's make this presentation meaningful. Let's be on time. If we fail to be on time, I won't force you to do things. I'll just cancel these recurring meetings, and then I'll leave each one of us read on their own and wait for the paper. So if the tendency of this day continues for the next 3 meetings, I'll be left with no option than just canceling the meetings, because I won't entertain coming late, yet this was a decision that we made as a team. So let's take note of that and ensure that we comply without fail. Yeah, I wish you a great day ahead and a great week. Bye-bye.